All right, shalom, shalom. This is Brother Muad coming to you again on the highway and the byway. Bring out this gospel as truth to edify the hopefully elect of Yasharala Israel, the one-third hopefully elect that would listen to the words that's coming from the man that Mashiach has chosen to go on the highway and the byway to bring out this warning, this edification, okay, to warn the two-thirds of our people, okay, that they should return and repent to their Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, before it's too late, because he's going to send his only begotten Son to destroy this wicked kingdom known as Great Babylon America, okay, and set up a righteous kingdom. And it's always a pleasure to let Esau the Edomite, the so-called white man, the devil that the Bible speaks of, know that your end is coming soon. Your days of oppressing us is coming to an end real soon. Before we get started, turn to East, give all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Kadash. Double honors and teachers, elders, and apostles, great most soul, likewise, brothers, but not the truth. Faithfully, fearlessly feeding the sheep and two brothers and sisters tuning in, Shalom. Yes, this is a different location from my typical location out here. Okay, so, sometimes we do a little change, sometimes for the sake of changing. But I want to start off with a scripture here because I want to go into something that's going to impact, okay, the Northern Kingdom tribe, well, all of us here locally in El Paso, Texas, okay? But we bring up this scripture first because we brought down the highway and the byway on this unicorn, and of course we know for a fact that people watch for entertainment. If you want to review a lot of people watching your videos and stuff like that and thumbs up, just either put a thumbnail that's going to attract them, or just have something controversial, which true men of the Lord don't do that. So we get the warning of that sword that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai is sending, okay, to judge the disobedient children of Israel, okay, so-called blacks and Americans and Latinos. And if you're paying attention, you see that sword is already here, okay? This is Romans 3:3 reads, "For what if some did not believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of power without effect?" So what if some don't believe? Let's talk about you Northern Kingdom tribes that are right here in El Paso, okay? Because you have brothers out there in the west side, and you have out here in the east side, okay, that are prophesying on the highway, the byway, in the open, weekly, okay, in regards to how much this man hates your ass. But many of you believe that because it hasn't come to your door yet, okay, the trouble, the tribulation hasn't reached to you yet, on the level of where you're being persecuted and thrown into one of these internment camps, you don't think it's going to happen. Now I'm going to read this article, okay, that is very concerning, okay, if you're in your right mind here in Great Babylon, America. Now, as you know, what has been happening, okay, they've been building these concentration camps. They call them holding facilities for so-called illegal immigrants, okay? And there's no secret that they're grabbing up American citizens. We don't know how much or how many different ways we can tell it, or even the different scriptures we can read to you, so-called blacks, Native Americans, and Latinos, you hard-headed Hebrew Israelite, that this man does not like you. There is a war going on. You have the Edomites, Esau, pursuing the Genesis 27:41 said that he is going to pursue his brother Jacob, because he believed he had his birthright stolen, which it was never his to begin with. The Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, never liked Esau. He never liked him. So we were always going to inherit the kingdom. We're letting you know this man does not like you. He has no reason to like you. He hates you. And he's demonstrated it over and over and over. Stop being pacified. Now I'm going to read this right here because you have a town here, okay? This is a small city, in comparison to New York and the other big ones that are like Chicago. But you have roughly around, 800,000 people living here, of which 90% of them are so-called Latinos, Hispanic, okay? And then the other 10% is made out of so-called Asians, blacks, and Native Americans, and whites, and all that stuff like that. So if right now this man is going after particularly right now in the news, you're hearing about illegal immigrants. When you hear the name illegal immigrants, okay, what comes to everybody's mind is usually Latino or Hispanic. The same way when you hear about petty thief or drug dealing on the side of the street or basketball or whatever the case, what comes to your mind? Okay, a so-called Negro. So this is part of those byword that we have. That illegal immigrant, that is a part of, that's the byword. That is a byword. That is an insulting word. That is a characteristic, that a libel, basically libel, a defamation of character that this man, who controls all the media on this earth, is using. Okay, and what has happened over the years when they use Judah, okay, as the face of everything wrong here in Great Babylon, America, and put us to death on the streets of America, keep us in low stakes by not giving us jobs, okay, incarcerating our men, humiliating so-called Negroes in front of their women and their children, so that we are not even looked at as men anymore. That's why our women have no respect. They have an evil eye towards us. In their eyes, we're weak. And that's okay. That's okay that we're supposed to be part of that judgment. We're supposed to get humiliated. But what we're telling you right now is that is about to change. But leading up to that change, before the true men of the Lord get that glory, or is glorified or elevated, okay, beyond what you women desire, okay, there's going to be a lot of trouble for the children of Israel. And one of those is going to be that never-ending persecution. A lot of our people are going to die. So it says right here, it says, several organizations and media outlets have reported on harsh conditions in immigration detention facilities, including those in El Paso, Texas, where a significant portion of the detained population are Latinos. Like I told you here, 90% Latinos and Hispanic, okay, live here in El Paso. Now, here's what you need to understand here. It says one facility, the El Paso Service Processing Center, has been the subject of Amnesty International investigation, which found conditions to be in violation of U.S. and international detention standard. Detainees at this facility, there's a facility out here, what they're constructing out here in El Paso, something called Camp Bliss. Now, if you know about Fort Bliss, and I was stationed over at Fort Bliss for a short while, okay, when I was in the Army. And if you know Fort Bliss is one of the bases here in America that is used for deployment. Okay, you have Fort Bliss, you have Fort Dix out there on the East Coast, you have Fort Bragg, okay, and then of course for the Marines you have like Camp Pendleton, okay, and Cherry Point out there in North Carolina. So you have those, okay, and of course for the Navy you have, you have in Virginia and you have San Diego, okay. But this base is huge. Go on Google and Google a map of it, and you can see how huge this base is. They do ordnance out there. Okay, they do a lot of the training out there. They even shoot. Okay, mortars. And mortars can travel like what, 100, 200 miles. So that tells you the sheer size of the space. What they're doing is they're building, okay, something called Camp Bliss. It is going to be the largest holding facility or supposedly migrants that they have captured or rounded up here in Great Babylon, America. Now, why are they building that here in El Paso? Think about that. What's close to El Paso? Where's El Paso located on the map? It's an isolated small city, okay, that is what is known as a border town, and you have Juarez, which is right there, which is a corridor where a lot of people will come through, and also you have like a lot of cartel, okay, activities going on there. But think about it. Why here? Because between here and the next major city, you know, which is Phoenix, okay, you have Dallas, and then you have Albuquerque. Okay, those are the closest major cities, and there's like 500 to 600 miles in between those. So all desert, very harsh environment. No place to escape. If you've flown in from the air, you can see a bunny rabbit hopping on the ground from the plane, because it's just all desert. Very flat vegetation, and just like a lot of mountains, and it's extremely hot, and it's brutal. A lot of killer snakes, you know, rattlesnakes, coral snakes, you name it, you know. So they're building that here. They're building that here in El Paso. And you people out here have been warned. You're driving around as if this is not going to impact you. This man is saying basically they have a quota to meet. When there's a quota to meet, you are more likely to go and do things that's going to meet that quota. Okay? So they're not looking at the fact that you may have a green card or you might be an American-born citizen. This is a warfare that's coming against the children of Israel. Against the children of Israel, and they use the people that nobody gives a crap about to condition everybody to don't care and don't question anything. Nobody question anything when the so-called Negroes get shot down in the street and march over and over and over for equality and peace, okay? And nobody's really too much really giving a crap. They are marching, but they're not really giving a crap so much right now because who are the faces of people getting deported, okay? It's so-called Latinos. And believe it or not, even though your skin might be a little bit lighter shade than a Negro, you're worthless to these people, man. Why are they tying you to illegal immigrants? Okay? Hypocrisy. So let me read this here. It says, detainees at this facility reported physical abuse by guards, use of solitary confinement. So you see how abusive it is. I just put up a video yesterday concerning this man. Okay, they're paranoid. Okay, the paranoid sociopath. When you look at that word sociopath and what it means, you can see you can see that it fits the description of Esau. They can justify anything. They're smooth in their word. They have selective people, even in the people that they hate, who they would elevate and put up and use to confuse you, to make you believe that maybe they don't totally hate you at all. Because it is confusing when you look in the white. You got Beyonce and Jay-Z and all these guys walk around shaking hands and hugging the president and all that stuff and that, and all this craziness. And how the hell is he racist? And I can see, you know, how people prospering. And that's all part of the snare to make you go to sleep. You can't see beyond the veil that he's putting in front of your eyes. Okay? So right now you have guards that are abusing prisoners. Okay? Using solitary confinement, which means they probably put them in holes and stuff like that. It is already constructed on a small scale. It's not constructed on a large scale yet. They actually have a contract for $1.5 billion to go build basically a tent city. Okay, a tent city. So if you know what tent city look like, if you have been deployed like over to Iraq or Afghanistan, then you know live in a tent city. You know what they're like. They can be so-so, you know, you make the best of it, you know, they'll have air conditioning and all that stuff like that, but that was for military personnel, okay? That was for military personnel. They're not gonna have those things there for people what they call prisoners of war. And you best believe it is war. And these contractors, they're not gonna put the best stuff there. They're not gonna put tents that's gonna be able to block the ultraviolet rays. It's like 105 degrees. That's the temperature today is gonna be 105 degrees. Okay, right around 2 o'clock today. So that gives you an idea. And that's in this part here where it's actually suburban type. Imagine out there actually in the sand itself, which is really absorbing that heat. And then at nighttime, those temperatures drop dramatically. That's how desert temperature work. Very hot in the daytime, nighttime it can get very, 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 very cold. They're not going to use the best, you know, heating or the best cooling system. They can use cheap shit. Because they want to pocket most of that money. If you were given a $1.5 billion to build tent city, you're going to put the cheapest doggone tent that's going to probably rip. Can't keep heat out, can't keep cold out. Units breaking down. And food is going to be like the worst, okay? It says it right here. It says, use of solitary confinement, unsanitary and overcrowded living spaces, including dysfunctional toilets that don't work. So you can imagine the scent. This is where you're going to see diseases and stuff from time to go. Which is part of that judgment we're going to get is what? Pestilence. Diseases that's going to get to you. They're not using the best people that they use out there in the private hospitals to take care, to give you care. You're considered a prisoner, worthless. You're not even a citizen. That's why they call you criminal. How do you treat a criminal? With contempt. It says inadequate medical care and poor quality expired food. As if what they call food over here isn't bad enough. So it's expired. Okay? It says, in some instances, detainees were held in conditions so overcrowded that they had to stand on toilets to breathe. Imagine that. So this is basically what we went through during the transatlantic slavery. And I put a video up about that 2 weeks ago. We don't make these videos for entertainment. When brothers are spending 3, 4, 5 hours, 6, 8 hours putting the video together, it is to edify you and warn you. We all have different skill sets in how we do it. So we use those skills to put those up, go through and dig in for the information, find the picture, painstakingly put it together for your edification. And you fucking doggone Hebrew Israelite, all you do is just, you think it's a joke. You shit on it, you don't appreciate shit, but it's gonna come for you. It's gonna come for you. The family of the word will come for you. We're not gonna take it personally. We're not gonna take it personally. It's your ass. Okay? It says, additionally, there have been accusations of negligence in providing medical care leading to suicides and other death of detainees. I didn't know our detainees was committing suicide. Our people are committing suicide. This is what we were doing on those ships, knowing where we was going to go to. Stocked up like sardine on the bottom of the ship. No air conditioning back in those days, while our women were on the upper decks being raped by our captors. You're a property, you're given a number, you're nothing. Including, it says, some reports indicate that thousands of detainees, including transgender individuals and those with mental illness, are being held in isolation cells under harsh condition. Okay? So for our transgender brothers and sisters out there, okay, if you have these alpha officers who really are against the Rainbow Coalition, they're really going to take that moment right now because you're a prisoner of war to really show you how much they despise and hate you. We pray to Yahweh Bashim and Shai not to put us in this condition. We know some brothers are going to go into that, some of us are going to get a head chopped off, whatever the case is like that. Okay? And we understand that. We don't know who's going to be chosen. I can be chosen. And I always said it before to you brothers out there. Don't assume because you're not as great as the elder brother or the elder bishop or the elder apostle that the Lord Yahweh Shai might not put you or use you as a sacrificial lamb to have your head chopped off to glorify his name. Don't assume it's going to be an elder apostle and it's going to be easy for them to go through because they know about it. They taught this brother to this brother, this brother, this brother taught it down to you. Different layers like that. It could be you. Every brother in this ministry should be prepared to have your head chopped off or be that sacrificial lamb. Don't look at the elder brother or the bishop or the apostle and think that it's going to be any easier for them to go through that. Take your cross and bear it, man. All right? Some reports indicate that thousands of detainees, okay, I already read that. And it's important to note that the term campo de concentration have been used by some to describe these facilities, reflecting the severe concerns surrounding the treatment of detainees. In fact, an op-ed in the Los Angeles Times suggested that immigrant detention centers should be called what they really are, indicating the belief that they resemble concentration camps. This term carries a heavy historical weight, however, and is highly debated. Okay, it says, furthermore, there is a large migrant detention center under construction near the Fort Bliss military base in El Paso, Texas, which would be the largest in the United States, according to the governor of Texas. While the official purpose of these centers is to detain individuals while their immigration status is determined, the reports of conditions in existing facilities raise serious concerns about the treatment of detainees in these new facilities as well. Here's the deal, okay? You're not being put in. Esau is not putting you into these facilities until they figure out your immigration status. Okay? There's no immigration status. You don't get it. Great Babylon America is going to be destroyed. Okay? Great Babylon America is going to be destroyed. There's going to be civil strife, famine, okay, civil warfare, okay, people coming up against the government. You think these Edomites, how long you think that they're going to put up with this government that is watching them, or set up in such a way that these Edomites are now losing their house, okay, they're struggling 3 jobs. When was the last time prior to maybe since 2020 did you see Edomites going on the screen and complaining that they can't even feed themselves? When? Okay? They're not concerned about you. They're concerned about themselves. They're not going to get out there and go march and take the time to take a marker and go on a piece of paper and go there and march and go, we shall overcome and all that stuff. No, they're going to grab their damn guns and they're going on there to go pay their local mayor, their local government, okay, their local public official a damn visit. And when the first shot is fired, you best believe it's going to set off a chain reaction. A chain reaction. So, again, what if some don't believe? Shall their unbelief make the faith of power without effect? No. It's going to come true. So let's go into the scriptures now. Let's go and see what the purpose of us is here. See what our purpose is here. See, we were raised up and we were commanded to go out here. We're not being paid. We get our reward later. We get our reward later. So this isn't a paid service. Our reward comes later. So we're obedient servant. And you got to eat the whole raw. Good and bad. Yeah, you're a Hebrew Israelite. But you got to understand that being that, you're subjected to a whole lot of shit. Okay? You're subjected to a whole lot of shit. Persecution. And especially if you take up that cross. You take up the plow. Be prepared for it. This is Ezekiel 33. And starting with verse 7. It reads, So thou, O son of man, I have set thee as a watchman unto the house of Israel. Wherefore thou shalt hear the word of my mouth and warn them from me. So we're hearing the word, okay, from the mouth from the Lord, Yahweh Shai. Okay, the Mashiach is giving each and every brother a portion. Some brothers bring it out with just scripture. Some brothers bring it out in PowerPoint presentation. Some brothers bring it out in movie style. Brothers bring it out live. They like to be in the camera. They don't mind being in front of the camera. Other brothers don't like to be in front of the camera. They rather put it together and narrate it. But either way, okay, we've been given, the men have been chosen to go there and go do it. But it says, many are called, few are chosen. Okay? It says, when I say unto the wicked man, thou shalt surely die, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, meaning being lazy, disobedient, okay, procrastinating, scared to face what? These people? These people are a clueless man driving in their car. You can see it in the reflection. Doesn't matter where I stand out here. They don't care to hear because they can see this. It means that you can have to really rethink your life when you look at this. When you see this, you're gonna have to rethink everything. Okay? Rethink your life. What are you really as a Hebrew Israelite? Okay, what is this? This is already here. You can put your head up your ass all you damn want. It's not going to change a doggone thing. It says, what if some don't believe? It doesn't matter. It says, nevertheless, it says, if thou dost not speak to warn the wicked from his way, that wicked man shall die in his iniquity. For his blood will I require at thine hand. You are lazy, derelict in your duties. Derelict in your duties. Esau tell you go freaking move over here, go do this and do that. Jacob go, man, Jacob all out. Yes, sir. Make sure. But the Mashiach tell you get your monkey ass out there and you don't want to get up and go do it. You'll be a keyboard fucking prophet. Come on, debating and all the other bullshit. But then you expect the reward. You expect to get some of it. You expect to get the reward. When you're going to take your freaking able ass out there and go out there, you get some of us are in our doggone 50s and 60s, man. All right? 70s even. Stepping out. Standing up for hours on end. And then you get young cats. You get young cats who are capable and able. Don't want to show their face. Scared. What are you scared of, man? All right? One. Nevertheless, if thou warn the wicked of his way to turn from it, if he do not turn from his way, he shall die in his iniquity, but thou hast delivered thy soul. So we did our job. Therefore, Son of Man, speak unto the house of Israel. Thus you speak, saying, if our transgression and our sins be upon us, we pine away in them, how should we then live? Okay? The scriptures tell you, give you really an actual way in how to live. Obviously, we can't obey all of the commandments. Obviously, we can't live in perfection. That's only Yahushua was able to do that. Okay? And actually, he actually made it very clear. Okay? Let's go on to that. It says, be not all righteous. Okay? And let's read that. Because see, some people really believe that this is tough. It's not. He didn't tell you to be all righteous. He said, this is Ecclesiastes 7, and starting with verse. Starting with verse. Let's go in. Verse 15 says, all things have I seen in the days of my vanity. There is a just man that perisheth in his righteousness, and there's a wicked man that prolongeth his life in his wickedness. We catch hell. We're the righteous. The children of Israel, despite the fact you have niggers and all the other stuff, we are the righteous people. We are the chosen people of the Lord Yahweh. So we are righteous. We just fallen away. But then you have the wicked, okay, which is Esau, the Edomite. Now, when you take a look at how long these Edomites will live to be 80, 90 years old, smoking a cigarette every day, snorting coke, whatever the case like that, live long. Jake can barely live to 75. Jake can barely live to 70 years old. Our bodies usually start breaking down from doggone 20. Because we have hereditary illnesses and stuff. We're too poor to have the best food. Too ignorant and you know what is the best food, okay? And we're surrounded with an environment where you constantly just have to try to survive, okay? So you're at a disadvantage, complete disadvantage. Yes, there's exceptions to the rule, and we're going to study and learn what to eat and all that stuff and take care of ourselves, and that, okay? But I'm saying in general, all right? And you can say to yourself, well, I see wicked people all the time. They live old and all that stuff. Never mind them. Why are you worrying about them? Don't mind them, man. We want to get on that chariot when those missiles are coming over here like arrows, man. Like a whole bunch of arrows. You ever seen that movie 300 when they shoot up all those arrows up in the sky? Okay? It says, be not all righteous, all much. You need to make thyself all wise. Why shouldest thou destroy thyself? Meaning what? Don't go beyond what you're actually capable of doing. If you're not really good at the history, don't try to teach it. Don't try to teach what you don't know, or don't try to teach what you're not sure of. Okay? That's why you have a diversity of teachers here. You have the elders who have the deep knowledge. You have the bishops who have the deep knowledge. You have the elder brothers that have the deep knowledge. You have the brothers that have the deep knowledge in what they specialize in. You can go to any of the channels that you're subscribed to, and you will see a different take, all in the same truth, but they go into deeper things. Okay, you have a brother that's very keen on the elements or the herbs, hieroglyphics. All those things. Some of us are very technical. Okay? So we all bring something to the table. We all bring something to the table. We're all part of the body. Okay? Stick with what you are. We're not Yahushua. None of us are. So don't try to be. And then you have these other groups out there that try to tell you you gotta be all super holy. When these are the most wickedest ass niggas that you can come across, man. Even something as simple as not lining up their doggone beard, they can't even freaking follow that order. How the hell these dudes can be leader when they can't even follow the simple command? But you want to be a fucking leader. What the fuck are you? What a joke. What a fucking joke, man. Alright? Don't live out your fantasy using the scriptures, man. And just taking advantage of ignorant jakes. Okay? That's no different than the doggone, the bald-headed monkey-ass pastor walking around with a Bible in his hand and go, ha, 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 ha. Collection, big church, big old-fashionedness and music, the organ and all that stuff. That don't even read a damn scripture. Just keep reading John 3:16 and all that. Jesus is for everybody. And he's infallible. Listen, we're not in that time right now for you to start to hop your head up your ass and do man worship or woman worship, man. Alright? If you're not being guided by righteousness and you're being fucking led by demons. He said, be not oh much wicked, neither be thou foolish. Why shouldest thou die before thy time? Don't tempt the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. Okay, don't. Don't tempt the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. Yeah, you might be part of the hopefully left, but that don't mean you gotta go tempt the Lord Yahweh Shem Shai. And yeah, we struggle and fight in this flesh, man. But again, like I was talking about with the Hispanic and Latinos out here. Okay, because being out here, the close counter with them, I see a degree of arrogance and ignorance, and they have no clue. I can pan this camera right now over there where you see those hills, those mountains. They're mountains, and you have 4 places right over there. And right here, roughly around 20 miles from where I'm standing right now, they're building something that's probably the size of a small city. That's going to have thousands of tents out there. They put out people. And how could you believe that they're not going to come around here? Now, there's been some concern in regards to the local populace here that some of them can be taken. Yes, they are going to be taken. People are going to be taken from here, whether you are so-called illegal or not. All right? But a lot of people just really don't want to accept the fact that this man has a displeasure for the children of Israel. Let's go on to Isaiah 13. Because you have to understand, there's an end to this kingdom. The Lord is going to destroy this place. But leading up to that destruction, you have to have a lot of judgment that's going to take place, which is going to impact the way Esau wants to have things going. And he's going to be taking that frustration out on us. We see it right now. They're blaming Jakes for the COVID. They blame Jakes for the economy. They're blaming us for everything. It's you people. When they get rid of all of the Latinos and so-called blacks that are doing the work here in America, the menial work, like picking up the garbage, cleaning the hotel rooms, cleaning up, picking up the food, doing all these things, and no one is showing up to work. You know what's going to go in? You know what's going to go in the news? Well, the jobs are there, but nobody's showing up to work. The blacks are not showing up to work. The Latinos are not showing up to work. You know what the average or the regular doggone Edomites, or what these Edomites going to say? Well, see, there's a reason why there's no fruit. The shelf is not stocked because these niggas and these spics, they won't show up to work. They're lazy, blah, 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 blah. You can't win. You can't win against a hypocrite. So they can scare our people scare our people with the threat of being deported or basically put into a concentration camp, because they're not deporting you. Why don't they just put you in a plane and just let you go? Or just say, hey, just get the hell out of here. No. Esau is looking to harvest your organs. And he's looking to torture you. Because this is what doggone children do to the little creatures. And we're creatures to them. Remember? 3/5 of a man? We're like little creatures to them. Okay? And Esau, the scriptures describe Esau as a child. The Edomites as a child. We're ruled over by children. Immature little children. Tricky soup. They're going to torture you. Esau wants to torture you. Alright? Let's go to Isaiah 13, starting with verse 6. It says, How ye for the day of the Lord, Yahweh Shemashah is at hand. It shall come as a destruction from the Almighty. Therefore shall all hands be faint, and every man's side shall melt. and they shall be afraid. Pangs and sorrow shall take hold of them. They shall be in pain as a woman that travaileth. They shall be amazed at one another. Their faces shall be as flames. How can this be happening? How can the greatest nation on earth be falling so hard? Okay? Behold, the day of the Lord, Yahweh shall come and cruel, both with wrath and fierce anger, to lay the land desolate, and he shall destroy the sinners thereof out of it. You got that state of Israel there, okay? We've said it over and over again, because it's in the scripture. Those doggone kites over there, those phony-ass Jewish people over there, every single one of them are going to die. All of them are going to die, okay? They're all going to die. The Lord is going to nuke that damn place, cleanse that land of that doggone wicked, doggone phony ass, okay? That is going to happen. And it's going to be rebuilt and inhabited. Unlike this place is going to be destroyed. So why in the hell would you want to invest into this place? Okay? And for those camps out there that are saying, okay, why don't we just go back to the Holy Land? What Holy Land? There's no Holy Land on this earth right now. That Holy Land is going to come when the Mashiach returns. Then it's going to be a Holy Land. There's no Holy Land right now. You know what's holy? The man of the Lord that's going on the highway and the byway. Really, that's a holy right there. There's no holy physical land to stand on right now. Everything's been defiled by this devil and devil. It says, continuing, it says, for the stars of heaven and the constellation thereof shall not give light. The sun shall be darkened in the going forward, and the moon shall not cause her light to shine. And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity, and I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and lay low the haughtiness of the terrible. So who's really arrogant, who's proud? Who's always been arrogant, who's always been proud? Okay, Esau, the Edomite, the so-called white man. They're arrogant, man. And they're proud. I put up the video yesterday concerning, again, these Edomites, they're sociopaths. And it was from a show, Phil Donahue show back in the early 90s. And you know, back in those days in the 80s, you had the Farrakhan's, the, the Jesse Jackson and the Al Sharpton. And they were really the faces of our leaders, so to speak. They had the time, the television time and all that stuff. They, you know, the marches, and they would speak up and all that stuff for that. But in reality, they were actually, you know, when you look into it more deeper, they were all working for the so-called white man. Because if you're focused on marching and begging the oppressor to show mercy on you rather than showing the Creator, rather than begging the Creator to show mercy on you, you will constantly be in that state of servitude and subordination to an evil Lord. And this is what they're trying to do. They're scared right now because right now they're losing that grasp on all of us, on 1/3 of us. And they will lose that grasp, which is going to be a big number, even though it's smaller than the 2/3. But the biggest fear and the hatred that the so-called white man or these East Edomites hate the most is when they see men are able to stand up, okay, and explain what this is. This is nothing good. Okay, this is a test from the Lord Yahweh Shai on this entire earth. We pray, okay, that the Lord, the Mashiach, okay, keep us from having to take this. Okay, which would mean that we were part of the elect. And this is in Rev right here. This is Revelation 2:10. It says, fear none of these things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you in prison, that you may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. Be faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. Part of refusing this is going to be death. Part of refusing the MOT is going to be death. Ostracized from the society, you can't pay bills, you can't get access to anything. There ain't gonna be that paper currency that you can use right now. Okay? It is going to be a mess. So part of those things is going to be death. We're going to refuse it. So right now, they're not trying to cut our head off right now. We are waking up our people. Some people look at us as just a joke. They at least know who we are. They know exactly who we are. And they're watching us because they're understanding, okay, it goes beyond this. Now, see, when you put something like this up, people look and they go, okay, we understand slavery and the brutality of the so-called white man. This picture, okay, goes beyond that, because everything about this picture, what I have here, which concerns buck breaking, slavery, you know, the transatlantic trade, and everything that's taking place with the persecution of the children of Israel is all scriptural. It's all biblical. It's a truth. When you understand how that actually impacts us and why we were going through those things like that, that's part of that awakening process. That's part of eating a part of the roll that may not be the most delicious, it might be bitter. And two things is going to happen, man. Either you are going to want to continue on in the bitterness, have that bitterness, okay? Because it's going to take you out of this world. It's going to take you out of this world. It is going to take you out of this world. People that used to connect with, talk with, all that stuff, it's all gone. It's going to take you out of this world. So those are the things that you have to understand, you have to deal with. Are you willing to deal with that? Let's go into Jeremiah 30:6. Okay, because as this judgment started to come, you know, you got a lot of guys. You got a lot of guys right now. They're like, and I think it was one brother was going into it. I think it was GMS Salt Assembly that was going into it yesterday in their camp. The only men that are really going to be stable, and you have to be really truly grounded in this. This is why we tell you. Stop watching the videos or stop watching the lessons for entertainment. I mean, if you're thinking about, if you want to imagine when brothers are speaking, I'm watching their lesson. I'm picturing in my head, okay, damn, this saying Esau is going to be slave and Esau is going to go into captivity. Okay, he's going to come after us and with this and that. And I basically play a movie in my head. I actually find it exciting. Okay, the danger, and then being rescued out of that danger. So right in the back of me, right over there, right now, there's a Chinook flying. And you know what a Chinook is? It's those helicopters with the two blades. Okay, they tend to be used for transport, but they transport things, but they also mainly transport truth. Is it a Chinook? No, it's not a Chinook. It's actually an Osprey. Osprey is they can take off like an airplane, but then they fly like a helicopter. No, it is a Chinook. It's a Chinook. And I've been seeing a lot of that lately out here with Fort Bliss. So when the time comes, if tension really rises up between Russia and America, and they're deploying, you're going to see a lot of those activities up in the sky. You're going to see a lot of activities up in the sky. Just how it was back in like 2002, 2003. Oh man, heavy activities. Okay, so Jeremiah 6 and Jeremiah 30, it's back here. In 6, I'd like to talk about this. It says, actually now, see whether a man do travail with child, wherefore do I see every man with his hands on his loin as a woman in travail, and all faces turn into paleness. Alas, for that day is great, so that none is like it, even the time of Jacob's trouble, but he shall be saved out of it. 1/3 will be saved out of it, 2/3, okay, you will not be saved out of it. Lord willing, I'm part of that 1/3. But take a look at this. This is I created this. Okay, this is concerning sedition, famine, pestilence, death, plagues, all those things. Okay, what's going to be taking place? And it ain't gonna happen in just 1 week or a few days. We don't know exactly what the timeline could be. But for you jakes that think, oh, I got guns and stuff, you're gonna run out of bullets. Where are you gonna get it? You think Esau's gonna sell you his bullets? Because, okay, you're gonna run out of food. Where are you gonna go get it? So you're gonna have to turn on each other. It's gonna be like Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Eventually, after they stole everything, they went and turned on each other. So because why? They're thieves. Okay, so that's exactly what's gonna happen to you niggas. You're niggas. You so really oppressing your own people, but after you can't oppress your people and get what you can squeeze out of your so-called black communities, where are you gonna go next? You're gonna go and hit up these so-called white communities, and they're gonna be waiting for your ass. Oh yeah. They can be waiting for your ass. And they can be just guns. We're talking like landmine, okay, claymore. You get a lot of Edomites that knows how to rig up doggone soup cans, you know, put a string on the ground, and you walk and you snag that, boom, blow your damn legs off and shit like that. You niggas have no clue what the hell you up against, okay? You better go ask somebody. You brothers that serve, who might have been deployed, who knows how to handle a weapon, who might have seen certain things, who might have been an NCO or an officer, you know exactly what the hell I'm talking about. You've seen these things. But the pacified fucking nigga that's walking around here, he don't understand that. But he thinks he's tough. But it says right there, actually, now I see a man trembling. Why? Reality check. You ain't gonna be no time to rest or run. You run in the house, they can come after you inside the house. You can't even step the hell outside. And your woman is gonna be watching a lot of these big old niggas. Dude, and when I say niggas, I'm talking about freaking Latinos, blacks, and Native Americans. And the speckled bird, y'all niggas. Okay? It can be shameful. The only ones who are not going to fall apart into pieces. And this is going to even be before the massive debt comes, man. You wait. I opened up and I read to you about that. I read to you that article of what's going on here in El Paso concerning this doggone, this the super internment camp, the biggest in Great Babylon, America. They're using something like about 20 miles of doggone desert, 20 miles of desert to build internment camps. To get from one end to another, literally you have to ride around in humvees and stuff like that. And even in the early stages, they're already showing you how they're going to treat you. So imagine when this thing really ramped up and it's overcrowded and they're understaffed, or they're really, you can go days without eating. Days without bathing. This is not going to be your regular prison system. Okay, where you get 3 meals a day. This is part of that doggone where men are going to be like, shaking and shaking and shivering. When they grab your ass and slam you to the ground and hog tie you, man. Okay? I remember we used to go through the training of how to take down detainees when you go to Iraq, when you go to Afghanistan, or down in Guantanamo Bay. Okay? And we would go through that drill again and again and again and again and again and again. Okay? And it's a different way in how you do it. It's kind of a little bit of jiu-jitsu. You don't believe how easy it is to break somebody's arm. You really wouldn't believe. The tactics that the cops are using to take down Jakes, they're using things where they could actually disable you through friggin' doggone touching certain nerves in your shoulder, okay, on your arm, to disable you, basically to make you just fall down. Okay? And they put you, they subdue you in such a way that it's going to be very painful. Now imagine when you're a prisoner. They're doing that right now while you actually have rights. Imagine when there's no rights, nobody's looking. Nobody's over there and don't want to turn the camp looking at what is happening to you. Imagine that, imagine. Okay? This is Lamentation 4 and 9. Lamentations 4, 9 to 11. And it reads, they that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger, for these pine away, stricken for want of fruits of the field. Okay, now it talks about a time when our people have eaten their own children. That's going to come again. I was just talking to my wife, and I said I believe that we have eaten human flesh. I believe we have eaten people. I believe that we have eaten it through those ground beef or burgers. You know, from fast food restaurants or just even what you buy from like Costco. I said because there's a certain way meat tastes when it comes from an actual real cow versus when it's coming from something else. And I used to buy these patties from Costco, frozen patties from Costco. Man, and every time I eat them like that, my spirit would just be riled the hell up. Something's just off about these patties. And I did it for like 2 or 3 years. Finally, I just stopped. I started listening to my spirit because if something's just wrong with it, man, I feel really weird after I've done eating the burger patties. Really weird about it. Okay? slack here. Hold on a second here. Let me make sure this phone doesn't overheat. Okay, and where we at? All right. I'm not gonna make this too long today. All right. Let's go in. What you can see here, it says, the hands of the pitiful woman are sword in their own children. They were in the destruction of the daughter of my people. Okay? So they were basically eating children, man. That's gonna come back. Alright? Let's go to second address. Yeah, because this is a snare. You can, people who are full and stuff are less likely to listen to any type of wisdom when you're full, when everything's going great for you. This is why you see like the women that will party when men were Simpson, just kind of going after them and chasing after them. Didn't matter what the woman looked like. The woman didn't know how to keep her body. Didn't have to work out. Didn't have to do anything. She just had to be a woman. Put on a rug on her head. Stick some nails on her finger. Okay, and walk around. You know, with the stretchy trousers and stuff like that. You know, she got 5 kids at home with 5 different niggas. Don't have no job, nothing like that, living off the government. But she got the nerve to a hard-working guy that probably went to college, educated, and stuff like that wants to have a meaningful relationship. She sit down there and then disrespecting his ass, texting the friggin' on 20 other dudes who are thirsty. Now men are not as thirsty anymore. They're not thirsty. And now these women are like, what's going on? What's happening now? Okay, what's happening? What's happening is this. The Lord right now is waking you up to a reality check. You're not important. You will come in order. You will be forced to. You will be humble. You will beg. And this is going to be the men of the Lord that are going to be the ones that you're going to be coming to and want to get into. And the men of the Lord are going to be very selective. Very selective. 2nd Ezra 16, starting with verse 19, and it reads, behold, famine and plague, tribulation, anguish, ascendance, and scourge for amendment. For all these things they shall not turn from the wickedness, nor be mindful of the scourges. You're not. There are jakes catching hell, they can't eat. They have famine. If you can't have food and buy food, you have a famine. These soup kitchens are going to close down, and the people who run these soup kitchens, they can take that shit for themselves. I know I would. What fucking feed your worthless ass for if I'm fucking starving? So you got to think in terms like that. Think in terms of that, and don't front. Don't front. Don't front. Oh, well, I wouldn't. No, you would. I just told you I would do it. Why in the hell would I feed some stinking niggas coming off the double on street if I don't have nothing to eat at home, or if I get people that are worthwhile to me don't have anything to eat? Huh? What value they have? That's how people are going to be thinking. They're going to be thinking about themselves. Okay? Because iniquity abound. People can be thinking about themselves. People can get cold, man. Okay, it says, behold, victuals shall be so good cheap upon the earth, they shall think themselves to be in good case, and even then shall evil go upon the earth. Sword, famine, and great confusion. Okay, you say things is getting more expensive. Okay, but keep in mind here, the timeline of this is continuous. It's continuous. All right. There are a lot of jakes that have never caught hell a day in their damn life. They don't even know what it is like. They don't have crooked teeth. Okay. They don't have scars all over their body or heartbroken bones. They don't know. They don't have a clue. There are certain jakes that don't have a damn clue. And there are people who never had that type. They never experienced it. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Perfect teeth. I go to the dentist and they go like, you know, they want to do like a visor, you know, the Invisalign to straighten up my teeth. I go, no, I'm not doing it. I grew up on an island where I was eating coconuts and sugar cane. I used to use my teeth to tear off the bark like a doggone gorilla would do, man. So I never thought about the fact that at some point in time, you know, they were going to get crooked and it was going to impact my looks. Okay? I wasn't thinking about that. I was looking at food. I was living on an island in the Caribbean. Food was precious, man. Never waste. Even to this doggone day, I don't waste nothing. I eat every grain of rice on my plate. Doesn't matter how much I can afford whatever. Doesn't matter. Never forget. When 6, 7 of us would sit around a damn bowl, and who could ever eat the fastest would get the most. So you go in turns. Never forget that. When my doggone floor was dirt, not no damn concrete or carpet, man. Your cup was a damn can. You find. You rub it on the ground. You take off the cover. And then you go to the well and you put that water inside there. You don't know. I mean, shit, sometimes you see frogs floating in that damn water that you're drinking from. So shit, somebody stupid enough to shit in it. Push the shit aside and fucking drink the water, man. We used to say something, we used to go like this: God bless the germs and the devil eat the worms. But people forget. It says, for many of them that dwell upon the earth shall perish of famine, and the other that escape the hunger shall the sword destroy. We preach this gospel for the whole earth to hear. Okay, so this, while the Hebrew Israelite was meant really for our people who return back to Yahweh Shema and repent, it is to be preached to the whole earth because the earth needs to know what is going to happen. The Mashiach is returning. He is going to take down the so-called white man. There is going to be a battle, okay, against the forces of this earth. It's going to be physical. There's going to be actual ships coming through, the atmosphere, Trump coming through space. There's going to actually be a physical battle. This is going to be real. It's going to be real. You nations, you other tribes will go into slavery. But the so-called white man, the Edomites, you're really going to get it. Because we are commanded to give you double. I have posters and so many doggone pictures of what y'all gave to us. So use your imagination and what we can give to you. Double. Alright? It's going to happen. Mass starvation on this earth. As we speak right now, you have flood all over this earth. Starvation is going on. In China and all over the place. People are catching hell all over this earth. People are getting deleted by the thousands. Shit, they make a big deal when you get 20 people deleted over here or 5 people. Imagine when that starts turning into thousands a day. And it's happening. But it's not happening to the people that it matters to. There are thousands of people being deleted a day. I open up and I tell you about what's happening to our people in these concentration camps. Okay? They're dying slowly of diseases, or they're actually dying and nobody cares. They're being abused, they're being raped. Nobody cares. Because they're prisoners of war. Or they're illegal. You attach a stigma to them, a name to them. Illegal. Criminals. And automatically their life is worth less. Okay, than the freaking worthless, stinking, doggone crackhead, fentanyl taking, coke smoking, coke drinking, freaking sniffing cracker. That ain't worth shit. Okay? Now when they start dying in the thousands, that's when it's gonna make news. But as long as it's my life, your life, as a Hispanic or a Latino or black, it doesn't matter. So when we say, they have conditioned everybody, including even our own people, to disregard your life as anything. That's why you are not paying attention. That's why you can drive comfortably in your cars and don't pay attention. That's why you don't care. And the dead should be casted as dung, and there should be no man to comfort them, for the earth should be wasted, and the city should be cast down. This is going to be a good thing, because when Edomites are getting thrown out there like dung, okay, so-called more Asians getting thrown out there like dung, hey, maybe people will raise an eyebrow, but see, the Lord is going to bring it so much on this earth that even these reporters, when they see it, is going to be overwhelmed with it that they don't even want to report it. Not to mention the problems that will be taking place here in Great Babylon, America. Remember what that scripture talked about? The merchants of the earth are going to be watching the horrific judgment that the Lord is going to give to Great Babylon, America. They're going to be afraid of what they see. They're going to be afraid of what they see. When the scriptures say, every knee shall bow and confess that He is Lord of Lords, Kings of Kings, you best believe that's going to happen, okay? afraid. Bro, they see the judgment here, man. Man, you think of Walking Dead. That's how this place is going to be. And you get some of us, man, we already getting up there in age like that. We ain't fast. We ain't got the same stamina. We look healthy because we watch what we eat. You might be living in a little bit more comfort, or you know, for giving us that wisdom and for looking over his men and his women, okay, the sisters out there and the children. Let's go to Zechariah. Actually, I'm going to skip Zechariah 13, which 8-9, which goes into the fact that the Lord is going to kill 2/3. Okay, and bring 1/3 through the fire. Okay, when you think of fire, if you're going through a fire, if you're going through a fire, you will feel the heat. But if you're not getting burned, you still will feel the heat, but not get burned. 2/3 are going to get burned in the fire. They're going to die. Now, fire is symbolic of the hardship that's going to take place. Starvation, sedition, which is going to be these Edomites clashing against each other. That's sedition. Them going up against their governor. Jakes is going to side of it. Well, I'm a Democrat, I'm a blue state, I'm a red state. But you know, the states going against that. It talks about city against city, kingdom against kingdom. Okay, brother against brother. Okay, that's going to happen locally, domestically, and that's going to happen internationally or globally. There ain't going to be no place where you could really escape. And even if you do escape, let's say you go, well, I can go in the jungle, or I can go up on an island by myself. Well, if that island can get covered by a tidal wave, how much food can you get? There's more than enough airplanes flying around like that. They can see you, if you build a fire, they can see that little fire. Somebody's going to catch on. And if you're living there and you're kind of surviving, well, somebody's going to think maybe they can survive there too. And sooner or later, everybody's going to crowd up over there. Man, the only escape is going to be through Yahweh Shinao Shai. Okay? That's it. There ain't nowhere to go. If I thought for 1 minute I could escape my judgment, you think I would be sitting, you think I'd be in America right now? I have the ability to get the hell out of America. But I can't run from judgment. And why would I want to run away from ground zero? Okay, if it's the Lord's will, then so be it. But so far, He hasn't put the Spirit in me to leave or do anything. Except this, which is what I prefer to do. Okay? Actually, let's go to 2 Esdras 6. And this is important, 2 Esdras 6. Why is this important? Is the key things that you have to understand is that right now you have part of that Deuteronomy 37 where these curses go on these other tribes. It's going to be the situation that's in there for all these other tribes. What's one of the curses that goes on us? We have a wicked eye to each other. We can't get along. You know, we hurt and kill each other. I am more likely to be assaulted by a black man than I would probably by a white man right now. Not to say that the white man is not going to assault me. He has a wicked eye for me. He's always hated me. But I'm just saying, part of that curses is more likely. Who gives the brothers trouble at the camps when we're walking by? The reason why white people ain't gonna do it, of course, is because they have a disadvantage in society as the fact that being supposed to be superior or the people in charge, any words that come out of their mouth is looked at as racism, and they get harshly treated based on that versus it's not the same. It's not the same from when our people do it to us. I would like these news reporter and these politicians to say exactly what they're thinking. We're gonna put you niggas and spicks in those concentration camps. Say it like that. Just say it. I would love the Lord Yahweh Shemaiah just put the spirit on them to come on and say it just like that. Just so Jason can actually hear it. Because that's what we hear. When they open their mouth, that's what I'm hearing. When they say blacks and Latino, I hear nigga and spicks. That's what I hear. Okay? But these Edomites are going to turn on each other too. They're not going to act or try to pretend that they're civilized, so to speak. They're going to get desperate too. They want to eat too. They want to preserve their way of life. And if you're a threat, you best believe that they're going to eliminate that threat. 2 Esdras 6. and starting with verse 22. It reads, "And suddenly shall the sown places appear unsown. The full storehouses shall suddenly be found empty." Why? They're getting rid of the help. Yeah, they can do automation, or they have machines out there, but they've always had machines. So it doesn't always be, there's certain things which require physical human, but they have machines that do a lot of stuff too. They have it, but they're destroying it. Bill Gates is buying the land or buying the farms and destroying them. Okay? There could be other things that can cost that too. You can have a pulse, bomb go off, what they call them EMP. Okay? You could have a war where they might put all our resources toward the military. They got to feed their military. And it's not going to be, the next war is not going to be like the previous wars that America has been into, where, you know, service members go overseas and come back 30, 40, 50 pounds fucking overweight. How is that possible? Go talk to people who are actually deployed and they tell you the real truth. Okay? Depending on what your job is, you will sit in the air conditioning all day. Okay? And there's a whole lot of food to eat. Boy, if one thing you can do on deployment is eat. Man, if one thing you can do is eat. They got some food you can't even begin to believe, man. You won't believe. Okay? Go to our John out there in Kuwait. You won't believe how they eat over there. It will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. It will blow your mind. If you didn't serve or didn't go in for a couple of years to experience it, yeah, I'm telling you, it's an experience, okay? It says, and the trumpet shall give a sound, which when every man hear it, they shall suddenly be afraid. And at that time, friends, and at that time shall friends fight one against another like enemies, and the earth shall stand in fear with those that dwell therein, and the springs of the fountain shall stand still in the 3 hours, and shall not run. Friends gonna fight like enemies. Why? Because you're gonna have pestilence, you're gonna have famine, extreme famine, shortage of food, the logistics is not working, war going on. A city like this, a small little city like this, probably wouldn't take more than go on 2 or 3 days for it to be completely ruined. There ain't much out here to begin with. A few supermarkets, many taco places, and that's about it. So the starvation out here will be massive and it will be quick. It'll fall apart extremely quick, and guess what they can do? They can corridor off I-10. Okay? Block I-20, that's about 200 or 300 miles from here. Was it I-20 or I-40? No, I-40. Okay, but mainly I-10 here. Okay, that's going to be used for transportation to Fort Bliss. And they're going to be grabbing people from here. When chaos go here, they're going to be grabbing people from here and putting them over there on Fort Bliss. And maybe you'll use some of these doggone empty buildings around here. Because right across the street, there's a shopping plaza over there, all empty, no shops. They built it, no one's occupying it. This is shopping plaza right here. This held, I think about 40% of this was Gold's Gym. Gold's Gym went bankrupt. They couldn't compete against Planet Fitness and Crunch Gym that's newly built. So now those gyms are overcrowded, and people now complaining online about those. Okay, because they didn't want to pay the doggone $35 a month to come to this gym where it was not overcrowded. See? But let's get back to the fact that people are going to be fighting each other. Friends, people who are friends. These Edomites, man. And you Jakes. But the Lord will protect his own so that we're not out there doing that. Brothers don't have to go and kill each other for food. Yeah, the Lord is going to sift out the phony niggas in your camp, and you are in every camp. I don't care who the hell it is. You have phony guys in your camp, and if you look around, you'll know that they're phony. They don't belong there. They're going to get sifted out. Okay. And the true brothers, they're not going to kill each other for a little bit of food. because the brothers will be provided. And understand that this is part of that judgment the Lord says he's going to do. Okay, you go to Amos 9 and 8, the Lord says he's going to do what? He's going to target the kingdom, the wicked kingdom, but he's going to save his elect out of it. His eyes is watching, those angels are watching everything that's going on. They see the deception, they see the lies, they see how Esau is a hypocrite. Okay? They see our frustration. Okay? Let's look at Ecclesiastes 13. Ecclesiastes 13 in verse 20, verse 20 reads, as a proud hate humility, so that the rich before the poor. A rich man beginning to fall is held up of his friends, but a poor man being down is thrust away by his friends, because they were never your doggone friends. Okay? They were never, ever your friends. So if people only, if it's conditional love, they're never your friend to begin with. Now things are conditional. Things are conditional. Almost everything is conditional. But this goes to show Esau, the white, really when you look at this, everything is color coded. And white is synonymous with wealth. You look at Esau is a rich man in the parable with Lazarus and the rich man. That's the Edomites. And Lazarus is the poor man. That's us, and the dogs are the other tribes. All right. Now, when you look at the rich man being helped, that's these white people. They are they can do things, but they get a pass. We do the exact same thing, and we're condemned. But we're not only condemned by them and all the other tribes, we're condemned by our own people. And you would think that someone that looks like you would stand in your corner, would stand up for you. Nah. Oh boy, they turn very quick and point their finger at the point if they want no part of that smoke. That's our people, man. Each and every brother inside here who's actually truly grounded in this, okay, we understand this. Be prepared to be alone. Be prepared to get backstabbed. Be prepared to get abandoned. Even by dudes standing next to you every week. Standing right next to you every week. Giving you the hug, all that shit. Barbecue, you go on all your barbecues. But they say when the bones get tough, the tough gets going. Yeah, they're all tough right there and then. But then now the going is going to get tough. They get running. Be prepared for it. Okay? Continue, it says, when a rich man is fallen, he had many helpers and speak things not to be spoken. Okay? That's Esau. And yet man justify him. The poor man slipped, and yet they rebuke him too. He spake wisely and could have no place. So everything that's coming out of our mouth is considered racism. How the hell we can be racist? Okay? We're not racist. We're tribalists. You calling me black, and yes, so my shirt was just black, which is what I learned in your school. It's clearly different color than my doggone skin, but I'm black, and I'm supposed to go, yes, I'm supposed to accept I'm black. But wait a minute, isn't my shirt black? So what color is my doggone t-shirt I'm wearing? And they don't like the fact that we call their own arrogance and ignorance out. You taught me this was black. But then you saying that this is black makes no fucking sense. This is white. Yes, still when I hold this up next to your pink fucking doggone, whatever fucking yellow, pink, yellow, whatever combination color that is. It's not white. So there's confusion. This is a land of confusion. Alright? The land of confusion. So at the end of the day, Esau has helped. He'll never be wrong. This is his kingdom. This is what we have come to accept, that right now he's in rulership, but he will be brought down. He'll be destroyed. He'll be humiliated by a greater power. Our job and the pleasure of it is this, is that we get to tease him. This is almost like teasing. This is why this is a horrible sound in this ear. There are men that are not buying your bullshit. We're not buying your bullshit. We're not investing into your doggone kingdom. I put up a lesson one time, type it up in Google, and you wouldn't even believe AI brought that lesson up. And even brought my doggone YouTube handle up. And then went into detailed explanation of the video. He said, clearly there are those who say that they don't require the help of the government or the need of the white man and all the other stuff like that. You're damn right we don't. We are not going to bow down to your ass when the time comes. We've been assured that we're going to be fed and protected. So we don't have to bow down to you. You're not the greatest power, nigga. Or cracker, I should say. Well, you crackers are niggas. You're not. And you don't like it. You don't like that. You don't like it. Right? Let's close out. Let's close out with the book of Isaiah 65. Let's see what Isaiah 65 says here. Isaiah 65. Because I don't want the phone side to eat up. Sound verse 12 it reads. Actually, let's close up with Psalms 91. I think that would be a good one to close up with. We should take about 2 minutes or so to go through it. Psalms, the book of Psalms 91. Start at verse 2. It's the book of Psalms 91, start verse 2. It says, I will say to the Lord, say of the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, He's my refuge and my fortress, my power, in Him will I trust. I just told you, Esau, I just looked right in this camera and told you, we will not need your MOTB to be fed. We don't need you. We will not need you in that time. We will not need you. We don't need you. All right? We don't need you. Surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler and from thy noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with his feathers, and under his wings shall thou trust. It's true. It should be the shield and buckler. What's written here and how it's going to take place, we know. Okay? We know the sequence and how it's going to take place. We understand. Everything done is the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. Everything. The bird dropped from the sky, that's the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. If I get killed today, I'm not innocent. That's the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai. We don't want to die. None of us do. I don't. I'm just saying. The Lord Yahweh Shema Shai controls everything. I was driving around looking for a new spot or additional spot, and I couldn't figure it out. And then I found this. It's beautiful. Tons of parking space here, lots of cars driving by, a lot of people witnessing this. They know they see me out here. All right. I don't have ants crawling up in my ass and stuff, so this may actually become my new spot for a while. Okay? Tons of cars. I mean, there's like about 500 parking spots right here. It says, thou shalt not be afraid of the terror by night, nor the arrow that fly by day, nor the pestilence that walk in the darkness, nor for the destruction, the waste of the noonday. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah. We know it's going to happen one day. When it does, it's going to be like, yeah, this is it. This is it, man. This is it. This is it. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh to thee. Only with thine eyes shall thou behold and see the reward of the wicked. So we're going to see with our eyes. Imagine that. A lot of dead bodies, and we got to come to them. I was just watching a movie last night called Final Destination Bloodline. It sucked. But the death scenes were gruesome. So I can just imagine how that's going to look like. Oh yeah, it's going to be like that. Gruesome. Okay? People's heads smushed in the ground. And you can see some shit. It's going to be so shocking. So there's going to be a lot of PTSD going on, boy. People can see some shit that's going to be just like, wow. We're not used to it here in America, man. In certain countries in Africa, they poop all over the place. People drop dead all over the place, and they go eat. They used to that stuff, man. We're not. It says, because I was made the Lord, Yahweh Shema Shai, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation, there shall no evils befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For he shall give his angels charge over thee to keep thee in all thy ways. So this is the reason why you think certain things, sometimes you Lord to go act it. Some way, somehow it gets blocked. Somehow you get distracted or whatever case you don't go do it. That coming because we fall. We do. None of us are angels. You have brothers who are doing all kinds of stuff. We all come from different ways. We get egos, all of us. We all do. But we learn how to overcome those egos by being humble. But every now and then, shit can pop, that spark can come in you to go, beat your chest. And those angels, if you're part of the elect or the Lord is dealing with you, have those angels calm your ass down. You might do something, you might fuck you up temporarily just to humble your damn spirit. Get that testosterone go down. And that's it. So let's do a recap. So I open up and I talk about the fact that they're building a terror camp here in Paso called Camp Bliss, which spreads out roughly around 20 to 50 miles. It's huge. 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 Out in the desert. No shade. Extremely cold when it's winter time. Extremely hot summertime. We know they've been given $1.5 billion to build it, but we know if you know anything about contract work, okay, they're going to pay employees, they're going to make a profit out of that and all that stuff. They can use materials and the cheapest labor they can to throw some bullshit up there. It looks good from an aerial view, but the functionality of it is not going to be all of that. And eventually they're going to start arresting and fucking throwing these doggone news reporters into these doggone camps. Or make them disappear. Who's trying to expose it for what it is? And at that stage, it ain't gonna matter. Because everything is gonna be all fucked up anyways, where everybody's going at each other. Nobody's going to care. Right now, people can pretend to care or question it because the society still is intact. When all hell breaks loose, you think the people are going to be sitting down and go, I wonder what's going on in those camps. No, they're going to be wondering why the electricity is not back on, the water's not running. Okay, they can't get their cafe latte shop is still closed, or whatever the case is like that. Why is there, this item is not in the food store? They're concerned about themselves. That's the society we live in. They're not concerned, out of sight, out of mind. They're not concerned about your ass sitting in those camps. You on your damn own, okay? And people will justify in their mind that you belong there until it's their turn, and now they're weeping and crying and wailing because they're getting the damn judgment that you are, or what brothers and sisters are getting. Okay, so Lord willing, be that present Father, turn to easy, walk over and 1 and 2. Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem, Bakakadash, Shalom.